Oh, come on! Turn. It's a turn. And we are off. There they are, the three, fighting for it. And here they are, drifting in a spin out by Will. A spin out. And there he goes, passing Will. Got sent out the first place. And now Will in first place. Will takes the lead. Hard drift that puts Matthew in first. A hard drift that puts Matt in first. Matthew, take it away. And a spin out by all three. Mr. Allison has pulled off from first. Mr. Allison is pulled off from first. Mr. Allison goes as number one. Oh, we got interrupting. We got father and son turmoil. Father and son turmoil on the
Matt's dad is the greatest driver I've ever seen. He's so much better than I am. How about you, Matt?
He's the cleanest, most non-menacing driver I've ever met in my life. He would never wreck anyone to win a race.
He would never do such a thing. He would only win fair and square. And he's just so much better than both me and you. He's so wonderful.
As sad as I am, that grass thing was pretty cool.
Yeah, that grass thing might have been the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. That's not even written on the paper.
Your spleen feels better, Dad.
Yeah, karma's a bitch, isn't it? Okay, nope. He won fair and square.
I bet it hurts. Just like my ego. I mean, he is the greatest driver to ever touch planet Earth. Dale Earnhardt, who?
Ha ha ha. But that being said, now that we've given the flowers that are rightfully due
to our little champion, I
time.
love you, Daddy.
I love your father, too. It's time for the shifter.
I don't have a shifter. We got to fix that.
Welcome to the shifter, everybody. I'm Will.
I'm Matt, who got dumped in a turn.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate, but we had a great time in North
awesome.
Carolina at the Trackhouse Motorplex. Can't wait to get to do it again. Hopefully, we put together an interesting product for you guys because we had
thanks
a ton
to
of
Christian
fun.
too.
Christian Wiley, awesome job on camera and commentary. Just added a spice to this thing that I could have never seen coming. So,
Mr. Alverson,
we can't wait to get to have Christian the Coyote Wiley back with us making videos. But that being said, we have to talk about some real life on track content, whatever the word is. Good Lord. I'm at my wit's end.
But I think first we need to cool the people down a little bit.
You know what? The truth is I need to be cooled down because I'm still a little pissed off about that bullshit your father pulled in race 2.
Yeah, man. Get off the screen.
Okay.
You're too mad to be on the screen.
I know.
All right, guys. You know, we need to talk about a guy that's always keeping it cool, calm, and collected today for a moment with Matt. Come in. Come in, children. Come in. Today we're going to talk about Mike Harmon, a guy that has never once done anything wrong, besides maybe still holler for Jennifer Jo Cobb and try to fight fans at an Applebee's. Besides that, pretty cool, calm, and collected dude. But what you should know Mike Harmon for is his crash at Bristol when he defied life itself. When he hit the gate that was hooked to the wall in a very weird thing that Bristol used to do that I'm happy they don't do anymore because, God, I don't know why they did that. But Mike Harmon's car split completely open. You can look it up on YouTube. I don't know how he survived. Also, I don't know how he still has enough money to own a team with how many cars he has crashed over the years. But Mike Harmon has been around for years. He will continue to be around. Maybe find him at your local Zaxby's. Not Zaxby's, Applebee's and fight him.
Oh, you think about another? We talk about Zaxby's and NASCAR. We sure we want to do this right now?
That's a different video, man. We're not talking.
My
about
bad.
I got murdered on the track this week, so.
Oh my!
But Guys, remember Mike Harmon. Go look up the crash at Bristol. We love Mike Harmon. Will can come back in the show now. Love you guys. This has been A Moment with Matt.
Honestly, getting us started off the right way, I really appreciate it. And also, by the way, you're a very clean race car driver. It certainly doesn't run in the family.
I got hit real hard. But before we get into the cup race,
Well, you know who else got hit really hard?
Dawson Cram.
I was actually going to say Joey Gase, but, we're talking about
Dawson Cram and Joey Gase.
Yeah.
Joey Gase threw a bumper cover. Chandler Smith won the race, but nobody really cares. We just care about Joey Gase throwing the little bumper cover. Bubba Pollard was there, too, did a great job. But a good Xfinity race at Richmond overall, and that's all we'll say about that.
Well, and I do want to say one thing. I know people are upset about Joey Gase getting fined for that, but, I mean, he threw a projectile. He pulled a projectile off of his car and threw it at a driver.
And
I've
also
got no
walked
problem.
down the
Walked
track.
down half the track.
Yeah.
Guys, it's
It was
fine
still
that had to
funny, though.
happen.
Joey Gase has a personality I never knew.
Yeah, so that was certainly something. Also, I guess I drove through that. Is Bubba Pollard from Woodbury, Georgia? Because oh yeah, I drove through that town.
Speaking
and
of
they
cool
had the
comic
poster
book,
up.
the guy, he fist fought a driver's dad after one of the 2019 races he was a part of in the late models. I found that out.
Did not know that about old Bubba Pollard. But that being said,
I wanted
speaking
to
of
fist
another
fight my
Bubba,
dad. What?
You did call your dad a punk ass bitch.
It's
I
not it.
know you cut it. He called his dad a punk ass bitch.
Please don't.
He called his own father, his own flesh and blood,
Actually,
his daddy that he loved so much, he called him a punk ass
the
bitch.
quote was, he raced like a punk ass bitch.
You know what that means.
No, but I would actually not fist fight my dad. He would kick my ass. So we would never do that. I love and respect my father, I promise.
But-
It's all for jokes.
That being said, we talk about Bubba Pollard. We got to get to the Cup race because we have to talk about another Bubba. Because if we're being honest, everything that's really worth talking about and breaking down about the Richmond race, which by the way was fine, typical Richmond, is kind of just what you expect. It all kind of got kicked off when Bubba Wallace hooked Kyle Larson down the front stretch. Just
Yeah.
Seemed
Before
like he
that,
made
it
a
was the
misjudgment.
Larson and Truex show. So
yeah. So first off, I want to highlight the sportsmanship shown by Bubba and also the karma that played out because, Bubba made the mistake, dumped Larson, but Larson came back and finished fourth. Bubba finished 13th. So it kind of worked out in the end, and they had a nice little moment on pit road. But that was kind of the only nice moments that we saw out of Richmond because what then would transpire is, first off, and Denny is right for saying this, Denny's pit crew got him out front.
Yeah.
They won him the race. But it's been too many weeks since we've had an officiating gaffe from NASCAR. And by too many weeks, I mean one, because Coda was also ridden with officiating mess.
And I just wouldn't calm myself down. But when you go out there and you're officiating gaffes, they hurt my Boo Bear. You know how I get. My Boo Bear led this entire race. My Boo Bear should be sitting up there in victory lane, kind of like maybe I should have been this week. And we're sick of getting screwed by the system. Look.
But that being said, Denny Hamlin, if we're being honest, yes, absolutely jumped the restart. But, was it the most egregious thing in the world?
No.
No.
Everyone jumps restarts every week.
Everyone jumps the
I
restart.
liked Kevin Harvick's idea. Maybe put like a timing line there, like it's pit road, and you give the guys 5 miles an hour. That's the only real way to police it. I don't know
Yeah.
why we didn't do that back in 2013 when your old boy got benefited by Jimmy Johnson jumping a restart.
Yeah, and also, we talk about egregious jumping the restart. Let's not talk about 2002 Watkins Glen with
Ryan
Blow.
Newman won that race.
No, he didn't. I don't want to hear it.
Well, he
Anyway.
wouldn't have, but
Yeah, the point is, it's unfortunate. Then he jumped the restart. NASCAR made I thought the call they made was fine, but you can't go out and blatantly admit what you did, which was letting it slide because it was the end of the race. That's the mistake that NASCAR made.
Yeah, no, and Elton Sawyer, with his great Busch Series career, needs to learn to shut his mouth sometimes.
Look, we give NASCAR shit a lot because they definitely have for a long time, just like any corporate entity does. They have that tendency to piss down your leg and tell you it's raining. Like, they didn't do that this week. They told us exactly what happened. They didn't want to change the result of the race. Fine. You think of, what was it, 07 Kansas?
Yeah.
The Greg Biffle incident that he
Which
definitely
Clint Boyer
did not-
won that race.
Clint Boyer won that race.
He actually talked about it during the race, oddly enough. That got brought up somehow.
Yeah, so...
Oh, it was when they were talking about Kevin Harvick and Clint Boyer's 300 starts.
So, yeah, I know that no matter what NASCAR did here, people were going to have a problem with it. If NASCAR admitted what happened, people were going to have an issue with it. If NASCAR did the normal NASCAR routine, people would have had a problem with it. It reminds me of, ironically enough, it was also Kansas a few years ago where a loose tire got off pit road and was sitting in the infield, but they waited for the pit cycle to play out before throwing the caution. If you can wait to throw the caution, then there's no need for a caution.
Well, there's another controversial moment in this race with Kyle Busch, because at Atlanta, me and Dante were there. You watched a lot of it on
I did.
TV. One of the greatest NASCAR races of all time. But there was a incident in which William Byron and Michael McDowell wrecked, and they didn't throw the caution so the pit cycle could finish. But this week, Kyle Busch gave a little baby tap to the wall, and that was a caution in the middle of a pit cycle. So I think we just need to keep. I understand NASCAR can make their own rules, but we need to have some sort of consistency, and I think that's always been the problem with NASCAR. And then also, if there is going to be a restart line, we are right. But then again, another gaffe that you don't really want to talk about, Talladega in that was 2020 or 2019?
That was 2020.
2020, where NASCAR did use the rule book, and it ended up in one of the most
Fucked finishes of all time.
Crapped up finishes of all time. Emily's trying to watch the show, man. Please stop. But what? We talked about this week.
No, we didn't.
We did. And then, if we would have used the rule book for the shifter karting, if we would have used the shifter rule book for the karting race, maybe one of us should have won. But,
The point is, cautions are cautions are cautions. And restart violations are restart violations are restart violations.
And wrecking someone in turn 6 is wrecking someone in turn 6.
Yeah. So, hey, Emily's trying to watch the show. She doesn't need to hear about this wrecking stuff.
Gasp!
She doesn't need to know about the dirty deeds that your father pulled. She needs to have a good image of her father. Because if we keep talking, she won't have a good image of him.
I'm not going to talk about the Zaxby's conversation then.
Anyway, so that being said, Richmond was a fine race with a pretty controversial finish. I'm going to be honest. Sure, did the best driver of the night win? No, but I'm not one of these people that's going to sit and tell you that the wrong driver won, because similar to Tony at Watkins Glen, if Tony does that restart fair, is Ryan Newman getting around Tony Stewart? Probably not. And if
Ryan Newman second at the road course? My question.
And if we're being honest, was Martin necessarily going to get back around Denny Hamlin?
No.
Maybe, probably not. Who knows? It doesn't necessarily matter.
Like Joey on the inside had a better shot than Martin did.
Yeah, the restart did not decide the race, but NASCAR made an officiating mistake, and then I say mistake. NASCAR fixed the finish a little bit, and they kind of admitted to it. But
And the bonehead of the week might have to go to Elton Sawyer.
Bonehead of the week goes to Elton Sawyer.
Underdog of the race was definitely Josh Berry. Ran great.
Could we make an argument for Bonehead of the week going to potentially Martin Truex Jr. though? Because what did Kyle Larson do?
What did Kyle Larson do? What did Denny Hamlin really do besides jump?
Yeah, it's not, I don't know. But unfortunate, end to the race, because it's just not a good look for the sport. But at the end of the day, that's part of racing. Officiating controversy is just going to happen. But that being said, you keep on talking about I have to plug the sponsors. So why don't you just go ahead and do that, because I'm getting sick of it.
All right, why don't you get off the screen since you don't respect the sponsors, huh?
Fine, I will.
Like my dad doesn't respect me on the racetrack or respect his own blood that he birthed. He didn't birth me. Shout out the sponsors. Milan, final episode of her show's out. Barry's an introvert. Go watch it on our YouTube. Bree made our awesome logo that may or may not be in the thumbnail. YouTube pending. It's not Will's fault. Don't blame Will, please. Go check her art out at Bree Casso on Instagram. I think she's doing commissions again. And shout out to Terrell's clothing brand at Grateful Studios. And you can come back in the frame now, because I'm done being a merchant for sponsors. But I'm not done speed. Oh, man, people didn't need to know about that.
You're not done what?
I got another speeding ticket, man. But this time it was right across the South Carolina line. It was going into the Georgia. But this time I was actually speeding. It wasn't, like a...
Matt?
Mm-hmm.
How fast were you going?
That will not be...
How fast were you going?
91.
In a what?
70.
And you're going to have to pay what?
Probably $145.
Yeah, that's too bad. It's whatever.
Okay.
Is what I would say if I condoned this speeding behavior. What is wrong with you? You're disgusting. You disgust me. You talk about, Emily's trying to watch the show. What kind of message are you sending to the youth of America?
It's better than you saying the F word.
No, the F word ain't killing nobody. You could kill somebody.
Kind of like my dad tried to kill me on the track.
But he ended up killing his spleen. Anyway, so this has been The Shifter. We thank you for watching. And obviously, if you liked, please leave a like and subscribe. We'll be back here next week, allegedly. So, I guess we can get out of here. Yeah.
That's Will. I'm Matt.
And this is I don't know. It's
There's certainly
the
nothing
shifter.
that's gonna play after the outro or anything like that.
not a single thing that's gonna play. But this is
Have a good one, buddy.
yeah. See you. Bye.